Hi everyone. Let's talk about what I will be doing to determine what books I will be reading for July. Hey guys, I wanted to start this video off with a little bit of an introduction before I select my TBR books for July. I have come up with a new game. It's a board game. It's not based on an actual game like Monopoly, Sorry, MASH, anything like that. I just couldn't think of anything and how to change it so it could be all book themed and build a TBR game around that. I just couldn't figure out how to do that. And I've been wanting to do this for a long time. So I finally found a way to just completely build my own board game. So that's what I did. I'm going to call it the Cat-walk TBR because I love cats. I love books. I love cats as well. So Cat-walk TBR. Nothing to do with fashion like walking the catwalk or anything, but just an actual cat. So Cat-walk TBR. So I drew on a poster board. It's pretty big. Symbols, as you can see. So, whoop, I just about dropped that one. The main reoccurring symbol, or the one that has the most, is the paw print. So I created a deck of prompts. I have thought of some additional prompts, so I will be adding to this deck prompts. And then when I pull a prompt, it will stay out so it doesn't continually get reused, so it won't be shuffled back into the deck until I've gone through all the prompts in the deck. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about these images and what they mean. So the first one is a paw print, and again, that is just to draw a prompt from the deck. The next one I can get are these ones that's like a bunch of red circles. And yes, I'm aware it looks like blood, but it's supposed to signify the red dot of a laser pointer pen that you can get from a lot of pet stores that are, anyway. But yeah, so if I were to land on that, my thinking is, one, my cat loves to play that, and I can make the dot appear and disappear extremely fast. So if I land on this one with all these red little dots, then I'm going to try to read the shortest book on my TBR. Out of all the physical books I own, the shortest book. Okay? The next one are these brown dots or circles. These signify treats. So these are supposed to be cat treats. So if I land on that, it's whatever I want to read. It's just a mood read. I'm going to treat myself, read whatever I want. The next image that can pop up will be this blue water drop. So most cats and water do not get along. So I am taking that to signify as an intimidating book on my TBR. Could be intimidating because of the size, the subject, the type of book, like the genre or the format or whatever I want. Just something about that book intimidates me. Two other images. So the next image will be this yellow one, which is a sun. My cat, and I'm pretty sure most, loves to lay in the sun and take long naps. We call it sunbathing in our house. Ophelia likes to sunbathe. She just lays in the sun and can be there for quite a while. So, because she can take such long naps in the sun, whenever I land on the sun, it's going to symbolize to read the longest book on my physical TBR. The only other symbol right now, and since making this board, I've come up with some other ideas. So this will get an upgrade, but not for quite a bit. But for now. The only other image on here is this one. That's a couple of different colors. This is to signify ribbons. Aside from the laser pointer, ribbons are Ophelia's favorite toy. She will find them, she will hunt it, and she will play, and she will try to eat the ribbon. But in this particular case, because she actually seeks out ribbons, if she knows that we're wrapping presents or something like that, she'll try and find where we put things rather than back in the closet. She will actively try to hunt ribbons down. So it's an anticipated toy. So when I land on the box of ribbons, it will be to read a book that I am anticipating. So the most anticipated book, something I'm really looking forward to. So yeah, so those are all of the prompts. And I'm just going to work my way one way across the board, and then once I get to the very last square, I'll work my way back, and there we go. So I'll go from bottom to top, top to bottom. So that's the board. And again, like I showed you, I do have these prompts. These prompts, I have a book that says physical, so to read a physical book, ebook, audiobook. There are no prompts that are an exact duplicate. There are some that I do not want to get. There is add one, so to add a book to my TBR pile. And I have it up to add 3. I have a double my TBR stack. I even have one that's like, I can't remember how I worded it, but it's like booktuber game. So basically I'll have the TBR stack I'm going for, but then I have to find a booktuber's TBR game, and I'll draw out of a jar once that ever comes up. And then I would go to that booktuber's most recent TBR game video, and then I have to add all of those prompts that booktuber is trying to fulfill to my stack. So it's not replacing, it's adding to. So I don't want that one either. I have genres, science fiction, romance. I have various ones for nonfiction, memoir, autobiography. And if I don't have a book that fits the particular prompt that I've pulled, then I will check a book out from the library that will fit that prompt. I also have age range, new adult, adult, middle grade. I even have children's so that I can read like younger than middle grade. So, a children's book. So I have a lot. I have seasons. I have, just subject matters. I even have an Ophelia pick, a Hobart Max, a Mom pick. So things like that. So just prompts to fulfill. I have just 2 6-sided dice or die. Anyway, so I will roll these. I do like the idea of if I don't finish the previous month's TBR, I will add a book on. I think that's fun. So I'm going to do that. I am not going to do that from June to July because this is square one, day one of this game. So I'm not going to do that for July or for June to July. So starting with my July TBR, if I don't complete my main TBR, then I'll add a prompt for the next round. If I do like the idea, a lot of booktubers do things if they get doubles of something, they add a book. So if I get doubles on the dice, like 2 6s, 2 2s, then I will add a book. I am going to start out, I think starting out, and I know I can do it, is 5 books. So I'm going to start out with 5 rolls, but that can go up, again, if I don't finish the previous month's TBR, then that jumps up to 6, and then it will just keep adding for each time I may get a double. And if I get a prompt that says to add something like that. So I think 5 is a pretty safe bet to start, and it is very doable. I did purchase, and I have this little container. So it's just orange with some black cats in it. This is what I will use to roll the dice. And then So like in this case, I got a 6 and a 3, but this will be what I roll the dice in. Just this little tray. That way they're not scattering and I have to try and get them together or whatever, or roll off the table or wherever it is that I'm filming this. As far as a little figurine or token that I want to use on the board, I thought about getting like a cat magnet or buying a cat figurine. But last night I thought, because I was just going to try and find something, I'm just going to use one of my cat's toys, so one of Ophelia's toys. And so it may change every month because she's got quite a few of them. So for this month, I am going to use this this ball that's black and yellow striped. So this is what I'll use. There we go. So that's really it and all that I need to talk about. I will say this, if you have any prompts, whether they're good or bad, please let me know in the description box below, and I will try to, once I have more of these flashcards, I will write the prompt that you suggest if it's not already in here. Actually, I was going to say if it's not in here, I'll add it, but I think even if it is, I will add it. So even if 5 of you say, read a middle grade, then that gets put in here 5 times, and I already have the middle grade in here. And I think that'd just be interesting to try and increase the odds of some prompts. So I think I'll do that. I'll still, if I draw it, I'll still leave it out for until I finish all of the prompts. But if there are multiple suggestions for one prompt, that one prompt will be in here for each suggestion. So again, the prompts can be good or bad. I think the chance of getting a bad prompt kind of ups the, the ante a little bit because you don't want it. And I think it's just fun to see that come up every now and then. So that's all I have to say for an introduction. So this video is going to be longer than it will normally be in the future, just because I had to explain this all. So I'm excited. So without further chit chat, let's go ahead and start the Cat-walk TBR for July. Okay, so here is the board. And I'm going to set the prompts just kind of off to the side on the board. This is going to start just kind of sitting there off to the side. And what I'll do is I'll lift this up so that you can see clearly what it is that I roll. So again, we're starting off with 5 rolls. So, okay. Roll number 1. 2, and we're already adding a prompt. So, okay. So instead of 5, it'll be 6. So, 1, 2. Okay, so that is the laser pointer, so the shortest read on my TBR. So the first one that I landed on was the red laser dots, and so that is to read the shortest book on my TBR. So the shortest book on my TBR is Newt Scamander. This is the movie scrapbook. There's like 48 pages, so very short. At least 48 pages according to Goodreads. So this will be interesting. I've been wanting to get to this. I've had it for quite a while. But yeah, I will be happy to get to this one. So this is the movie tie-in for magical beasts and where to find them. It just says Newt Scamander on this particular edition. And then here's the back. So yeah, shortest book on my TBR. Okay. Now for roll number 2. 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so water. So a book that is intimidating, or something that I find intimidating about a particular book. Okay, so the next square I landed on was the water drop, which is to read a book that intimidates me in whatever way. So for this one, I'm going with the third in a series. And I decided to go with Morning Star by Pierce Brown. Part of me is excited to get to this, but I am very intimidated at the same time. I did not like the first book in this series. The second book I liked. So I have no idea going into this third one if I will like it or not. And if I don't, then I'll unhaul the series. But so this is the Red Rising trilogy. You're following Darrow. It's an uprising rebellion. People are classified as gold, red, pinks, grays, all these different colors. It's a class system, so like gold is like the highest ranking system and red is pretty low. I think pinks are lower than red, the way they're treated. But they're basically trying to overthrow the system. So again, I did not like the first one. Not really. I found it very dragging and kind of boring. But I really liked the second book. So I am intimidated by this because I have no idea what to expect. With the way the second one ended, I'm hoping I really like this one even more than the second one. But just with the way that first one was, I have no idea. So I don't know. We'll see. That's why it intimidates me, is because I have never had a series that does that, where I like the second book, not the first book. So, yeah. Okay, time for roll number 3. Six. So there's a 4 and a 2. I don't know how well you can see that. There you go. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, another laser pointer, another short read. Okay, so the third square that I landed on was another laser pointer dot one, which is to read a short book on my TBR, the shortest book on my TBR. The next shortest book that I own is this book. This is actually a book of poetry, and this is the Shropshire Lad, I'm guessing. So the I can't even try and say it. The Shropshire Lad. I don't know. This is by A.E. Houseman. I don't know if there's going to be a general theme going through this or not. All I know is this is just a book of poetry, like 2 stanzas, 3, you know. So I am trying to get more into poetry. I do like a lot of the poetry that I read. A lot of the times I just don't know where to start. And so this is the classic book of poetries. Okay, time for roll number 4. Right? Yes, roll number 4. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Prompt card. Okay. Here you go. A fantasy. Prompt number 4, I landed on the Paw Print, which is a prompt card. So it's one of these cards. So this card is for a fantasy. So for this one, I'm also kind of intimidated by, but I really like this author's writing. I have not read any of the adult books by this author, so I'm really nervous that there's going to be a sexually explicit scene, and if there is, I will DNF it. I really don't want to read sexually explicit scenes. I tried getting into romance and forced my way to read some books that had sexually explicit scenes, so like smut, spice, steamy, whatever you want to say. I don't like it. To me, sex with a partner is a very personal thing, and it's not something that I would expect anyone that's having sex to go out and broadcast on a megaphone to people down the street. Hey, I had sex and this is what we did. So I don't like reading about those in books. It just is very uncomfortable to me. I don't like it. If things are hinted at and it's like a fade to black scene, that's fine. If they talk about kissing, French kissing, fine. You know, I'll read about those. That's fine. But if it gets sexually explicit, I'm just not gonna bother reading it because I don't like it. Anyway, so with that being said, this is the first adult book by this author that I will be reading, and that is Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. I really want to enjoy this book, so I'm hoping it's not sexually explicit. Explicit graphic scenes like with blood and death and that doesn't bother me. I find those interesting. I actually wanted to go into law enforcement, but with my health and physical and mental, there's no way I could handle that. So I kind of live my law enforcement fantasy and crime scene investigation fantasy through books that have scenes like that. So I actually like those scenes, but I am hoping there's no sexually explicit scenes in this. If you've read that and it has that, please let me know so I don't waste my time. But we'll see. Again, I do like this author's writing, so I hope that I enjoy this one. So this, I think it's like a dark academia. It's the Alex Stern series. It says, into a world of shady drug dealer boyfriends, dead-end jobs, and much, much worse. In fact, by age 20, Alex is the sole survivor of a horrific, unsolved multiple homicide. Some might say she's thrown her life away, but at her hospital bed, Alex is offered a second chance to attend one of the world's most prestigious universities on a full ride. What's the catch, and why her? I do like dark academia that I have read. I do love it when books take place in schools because I love learning. And so it kind of scratches that little itch temporarily, but then it makes me want to go back to school, which I can't afford to do. But I'm hoping to like this one. Roll number 5. Eight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Another prompt. Highest rated. Okay, so the next square that I landed on was another Paw Print, so another prompt card. So this one is highest rated. This is to read the highest rated book on my Goodreads physically owned TBR. So for this one, the highest with a 4.80 rating on Goodreads is Mystic Angel. I believe this is a trilogy. I know this is the first one, but this is by Debbie Ihler Rasmussen. I probably said that middle name wrong, but there it is. If you know how to say it, excellent. But this is the first book in the series. This, I don't really remember much about this. This was a complete, I've got to stop with cover buys just because I don't know if there's going to be sex graphic stuff in there. But this was in the YA section, I believe, so I think it might have been in the adult section. I don't remember. So this one, it follows Jackson Allen. He's basically uprooting his family from Southern California to a small town in Tennessee. They arrive in Somerville. And let's see, it says that this is a place that Jackson had just completely abandoned, abruptly left 20 years earlier. So he's returning back to Tennessee. There's a family secret. It says a lady dormant for over 50 years. Oh, not lady, Leigh, that had lay dormant. So secrets that had lay dormant for 50 years. Old myths and legends surrounding the wealthy and mysterious Allens had been told and retold in the small community for nearly generations. And then it says, their 16-year-old Aspen soon found herself immersed in a world of the paranormal and extrasensory phenomena that soon helped in bridging a tense relationship with her brother Noah. So I think it's been, I think, over 2 years since I bought this. I think this is in the YA section, so I think I'm pretty safe. And what will hopefully be the final roll, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait a second. Five, four, three, two. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, another water droplet, another intimidating book. And the last square I landed on was a water drop, which was to read a intimidating book on my TBR. And this is kind of suiting in that it takes place on or around the sea, so around water anyway, which I like. But when this, I have seen this movie. So this book was adapted into a movie several times, or not several times. I've seen the movie several times. So what intimidates me about this is the fact that I may not like this book as much as I like the movie, because I really do like the movie. And that is Jaws by Peter Benchley. Big, huge, ginormous shark that eats people and hunts people. I think I will, I don't know, I want to say I think I'll like this, but what intimidates me again is I have seen the movie several times, and I am very nervous that I will not like this book as much as the movie. So I had the 5 books and then got a double, so that's 6 books. So these are the 6 books that I will be on my mandatory that I really want to get to list for the month of July. If you've read any of these, let me know. And if you liked it or not. Don't spoil anything, again, unless it has if you've read it and you know it has a sexually explicit scene, definitely let me know so I don't waste my time with it and can maybe substitute in a different book later on in the month. So, but those are the books I will try to read. In the description box you will find links to my social medias, accounts, and things like that, any information you may want to know that I think you'll want to know. So until next time, stay true to yourself and enjoy a good book, and I will talk to you later.